go. There we go. I'm back. I'm back. Hey guys, it's nice to see you. Sorry, I'm getting you guys set up here so we can have a chat about Emmanuel Haro. Emmanuel Haro. As many of you guys know, we have been discussing this case for quite some time. Just over the last few days, it's starting to heat up. What we found out early on, let me just stir my stuff. What we found early on is we did not believe the statements of the mom or the father. There was just something about them. The story didn't make sense. There's no, they had the cadaver dogs out there. Well, they didn't have they had scent dogs out there, the canine unit out there when she reported this child missing at the Big Five. And they said they could not get a scent. They had no scent. She's saying that she was knocked unconscious and her child was abducted, yet there was no witnesses out there. All they see is this lady running into the store saying, "Where's my child?" As if a 7-month-old child can crawl to the store. But that's not the most breaking news right now. The breaking news right now that is coming out is the parents have lawyered up. They've stopped cooperating. They asked the mother for a lie detector test. She has refused. They are now at the house with cadaver dogs digging up the property. Everything that we were feeling is a reality. It doesn't look like they are looking for Emmanuel in safe conditions. They don't believe the story that the mom and father are saying. This is a phantom attacker. This is a plan B, and we know about plan Bs. I'll just keep turning you guys with me. I am making some fresh Salisbury steaks today. Usually I use hamburger meat, but this one I used chopped steaks today. So it's going to be a nice hearty meal. Like, you guys really care about that. But anyways, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat today. So what do we know about the case? Where could this child be? Well, one thing that we know about cases like this is the idea that this child disappeared when they said that this child disappeared is probably slim to none. That's number one. I'm very curious how long this child truly has been missing, because we have experience in this. We've got plenty of people we can call out, like Adam Montgomery, right? Leilani Simon. There's a lot of people that did not report their child. Well, actually, Leilani Simon did report. I think she did report Quentin missing very soon, because she had the boyfriend that didn't know what was going on. But we do have Orson West. Now, that's another one that went on for months. The only time that they reported those children missing when it was becoming closer to the holidays, and his family, like his grandparents from his biological parents, wanted to start seeing him. And they were starting to reach out to try to schedule those, and they had no choice but to report the children missing, because they got no children to produce around Christmas and the holidays to the family. I don't believe that's the case here, because it appears that the mom, Rachel, and the father, Jake, are the biological parents of Emmanuel. We've learned from the history, let me pull this up, of Jake, that he is pretty stinking violent when it comes to children. So he has an anger problem. Now, from my understanding, this 2018 charge, he actually went to jail for a year, 6 months, 180 days. My question is, what else did the people require him to do? Did they require him counseling? Did they require him anger management, parenting classes? I'd like to know what we're dealing with when we're dealing with Jake, because we have a beautiful boy that has a right to life missing. And now they're out at these people's houses digging up the property to look for this child. People had asked me me because I drop stuff on TikTok. On Sundays, TikTok kind of gets a little more love. Throughout the week, you guys get a lot of love. So if you're not on my TikTok account, you'll want to be on Sundays because I break out a lot of news. Right now, we're doing a lot of news, pumping out a lot of breaking news related to this case, Emmanuel Haro out of San Bernardino, California. And the story that his parents have given, law enforcement believe it's inconsistent with their findings. One, out there where she said the abduction happened, and two, their statements as a whole. And because of that, they have now challenged the parents, told them about the inconsistencies, requested that Rachel take a polygraph test. And as soon as they had asked her to do that, she decides to lawyer up. That's where the lawyers came in. They were trying to be ultra cooperative up until they asked for a polygraph. And at that point, Jake, of course, much like Christopher Proudfoot, decided to speak up for his wife and say no. And so law enforcement is proceeding as they normally would. And they went into the house with a search warrant, cadaver dogs, and a dig team. And so they have selected several spots around the house. It is my understanding they are starting to dig. So this child, now I don't know if this child would be there, okay? You would hope that parents are stupid and will do that. It's not unheard of. We've definitely heard of people putting a child in anybody, older man, younger woman, whatever the case may be, in the backyard, okay? So it's not uncommon that people will, not want to travel and find an easier route like their property. So I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on whether this child would actually be located on the property. The one critical detail I think we're missing out of this entire story to help guide us, the public, because we're researching right along with law enforcement, is the fact that we do not have a third-party witness. We don't have anybody to tell us when is the last time anybody saw this child outside of these two people. And that's where our issues are starting to come down to. Because without that critical detail, we don't know how much of a head start these two people had. And that would be important when trying to decide would this child be on their property, because you got to remember law enforcement has the ability to get their phone records. They have the ability to get their automobile records. We as the public aren't entitled to that. We don't have a right to that. So there's a lot of critical information that we're not going to have to aid us that would aid law enforcement. But if we can kind of decipher when the last time this child was seen by a third party, it may very well just help us determine, at minimum, how much of a head start these animals had. Nobody believed their story, much like Chris and Katie. Once we started seeing them out there doing their interviews and stuff, we slowly started not believing their statements. We immediately did not believe. It was because of her. It was because of her. She was describing such a harrowing event, yet so vague. She was hit, but she didn't see anybody. They tapped her on from the behind, but she has, a black eye on the front of her face, which would mean she would have to see a hand. It doesn't make sense. She's got no bruising on her face. It leads many of us to believe that these are old bruises, at least more than a day or two old. And then you get to this animal, this monster right here. This is Jake. This is Jake Haro. He is the father of this 7-month-old child. He has been convicted of cruelty to children back in 2018. But if you missed it, let me put it back up here again. There were also charges filed for him in 2021. Now, this is not obviously Emmanuel. And as a matter of fact, I heard this charge here was so bad that the child may have received lifelong injuries in the head because of it. Now, I have to caution you because I did not research that, so do your own research if that's true. But it's what I'm hearing, and I can't establish whether it's true or not true unless somebody can confirm it. I'm not going to spend my time confirming it because this right here is all that we needed to confirm. We needed to find out who is the abuser in that household. And I think we found the abuser in the household, and it's this guy right here. I believe she needs to be held accountable, whatever the charge may be for her. I really don't care. She's had every opportunity to do what was right by Emmanuel and her other children, and she still stands by her man that we know is not only abusing her, but has abused those children. So unfortunately, her window of opportunity to save her own ass is gone. I want her in jail right along with the piece of crap husband she chose to lay down with and have a baby and allow him to abuse. She's no longer a victim. Bullhorn Betty's, give a crap button is busted on these parents. Now, I'll show them a little bit of grace, but after that, and I see that they've had ample opportunity after ample opportunity after ample opportunity to come clean and save herself and get herself, one, out of this situation and away from this abusive man. And yet again, she stands right by him. She allows her children to be taken away from her, all of them, while she stands next to this monster. We know who the instigator is. We don't need law enforcement to tell us. But now she's no different than this monster right here. Rachel, Rebecca. Is it Rebecca? Is it Rebecca? I think it's Rebecca. You need to leave. How much more damage does this penis need to provide you? Because that's all he is. You are such a desperate woman that you are willing to put your children in harm's way over a man. People like me and the women that are in this chat, we don't like that. We don't like that at all. And now we're coming for your head because you've had every opportunity. You got 24 hours. My entire show is going to be much different in 24 hours. We are going after both of these people here. It was only going to be one if she could get the strength to do the right thing. Her children are out of the house now. They are digging up her yard. Tell them where your son is. But she won't. Because she's going to stand by her man. Stand by her man. Some sick world we live in, isn't it? Sick. Sick. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. If you guys want to know the best way to strain anything, everybody dumps into the basket. Why? This is how you properly strain. Right here. It's easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Boop, boop, boop. Tip, tip, tip. Boom, baby. Boom. What? Is it really that easy, buddy? Yeah, it really is just that easy. You can rinse the backside off, and you are good to go. Good to go. Now, we're going to believe that these potatoes right here are these two people right here. Who needs therapy? Boil some potatoes. How do we feel about these evil parents? How do we feel about parents that like to hurt their children? How do we feel? Hey, Rebecca, that's for you. make you into mashed potatoes. Now, if that is not aggressive, I don't know what is. Do you need therapy? Just saying. Damn it. Don't you hate when you put stuff in one place and then you put stuff in another place? Let me go get I got the butter. I just need the sour cream. Okay, are you guys okay by yourself for just like a second or two? Do we need a hall monitor? Sonia, you're in charge. You're in charge, Sonia. I heard you guys. I heard you. We're not done mashing. We're not done mashing just quite yet. We got some problems with the Haros, okay? If you guys, I'm having a therapy session right stinking now over these damn parents that can't keep their grubby hands off their gosh darn children on a Sunday. I bet you these are going to be the creamiest freaking mashed potatoes anybody has ever had. Butter, check. Maybe a little more butter. Don't be so stingy on the butter there, Miss Betty. Give me some damn butter in my potatoes. You guys want to see something that looks freaking good? Oh, this is hot. Hold on, I'm going to have to try to do this. Oh. Tell me that is not some beautiful gravy. Can you guys see that? It needs to be, I need to put some cornstarch in it just to thicken it up ever so slightly. Tell me that ain't good. Look it, guys. Hey, Rebecca, Jake. I just want to tell you, I hope you enjoy that prison food. I don't think it's going to look like this, baby. I don't think it's going to look like this. But who knows? You might be living at large like Austin Drummond once did. I don't think it's going to work out for you, boo-boo, but who knows? Who knows? I think it's good enough, right? All right, guys, we're moving right along. All right, am I making you am I making you hungry yet? I'm mean. I'm so mean. But everybody kept saying, how did I find out about them digging up the yard? Believe it or not, I'm surprised mainstream media didn't start off with that, y'all. Because it was at the very end of this news broadcast from a local news person out there. But you would think that something like that, you're basically excavating a property. You would think that the news organization would have started off with that, but they didn't. It was literally at the very end of this news broadcast. Crazy. And I just happened to watch it all the way through. I guess nobody else had done that. And lo and behold, bada bing, bada boom. Need salt. I forgot the salt. Rinse this off. Gotta test it. All right. Betty forgot the salt in the potatoes. How does a Southern woman forget the damn salt? Don't ask me. It's a Sunday. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of off today. That looks about right. That looks about right. Get a little can and get some water in it. Now the gravy on this is going to be flavorful, so you don't really need a whole lot of flavor in your potatoes. So what do you guys think so far? Good morning. Hey. Honestly, Becky, it's nice to see you. We are covering this case. This case is driving me nuts, like many of my audience members here. You know, how in the world these parents actually thought they were going to get a... I mean, she was sporting a black eye. I guess she just thought if she was sporting a black eye, well, you know, everybody's going to believe her story. You know, she's a woman, right? That's the... Like, they don't realize the true crime genre doesn't care what sex you are. When we feel the way we feel the way we feel, no questions asked. You know? And so I think that they truly thought that if it was the mom that, you know, is the one that told this story versus the father being at that they would get away with it. But what I don't understand, well, we do understand, what I don't like about the whole situation is that, one, their story didn't make sense. But two, why would they be in a public place like that and try to say that their child was abducted? Did they not? I mean, I think it would have been better for them, honestly. It sounds crazy, and probably why a lot of parents do it, is I went to bed and woke up and they were gone. I think they would have had a better opportunity to get away with it like that than the way that they did it. OMG, that gravy is good. I gotta tell you, I don't make any brown gravy anymore without red wine in it. I'm sorry, I just don't. There's just something about a tablespoon of red wine in a brown gravy that just makes it the bomb. Okay, let's taste the potatoes. Perfect. Perfect. And I've also started, since I'm, you know, you guys know me, I've been not working with, my neighbor does a lot for me here, okay? When I'm out on the road, which you guys know for 2 solid years, I was out on the road. My neighbor brought my mail in. He made sure my house was secure. When I'm out and I have to leave Delilah here, he comes over and checks on her. So when I cook, I try to cook for him too. It's hard to cook for just one person. Let's be honest. It's hard, very, very difficult to cook for one person. So my new goal is just making sure I make enough for one dinner. I know this sounds like a lot, but at least when I know I take this over at 2 and I split this up, which he'll get the lion's share of it because he's a guy, I'm a girl, and I don't eat that much, and I don't want to have leftovers. He'll get the lion's share of this, but it'll probably break down for 2 meals for him, you know? And of course, he's on fixed income, so I try to help out where I can. Not that I can do it all the time, but if I can, I will, you know? And I think the gravy is just about done. And then I know I got some people that don't like tomatoes, that don't like onions or mushrooms, and this recipe is loaded with onions and mushrooms. That's the only bad part about it. So I did want to come to you guys and just tell you guys, the house is being, the law enforcement out there ain't playing with these folks. They don't believe them. They've flexed their muscle. These parents wanted to shut down and lawyer up. And law enforcement said, okay, you want to play stupid games, we'll give you stupid prizes. And now they're out at their freaking house, tearing that house apart, tearing their land apart. They're trying to find this child. They don't believe them. So what's going to be the result of this, guys? We already know. We are always going to have hope in our heart. Don't misunderstand me. We're always going to have hope. We want these children to come home. We want them to come home safely. Even if they don't go back to their parents, we want them to come home and be safe. Oh, Gypsy. It's nice to see you, love bug. But at the end of the day, we also have to be realistic. And we have to look at these parents. And at the end of the day, these parents are lying. And there's a reason why they're lying. So in this particular situation, is there something that's going to be positive out of this? I don't see it being possible. Okay? I really just don't. It's much like I felt with the Sebastian Rogers case. It's much like I felt with a lot of the cases, even the Summer Wells case that we're dealing with right now. We have hope. We always have hope, but we also have that, that reality sitting on our shoulder as well. And sometimes reality trumps hope. And that's kind of how I feel about this case right now. the reality and the severity of this situation, and law enforcement's demeanor in this situation has me very, very scared for this 7-month-old baby. And my heart's breaking because I really don't think this child has made it. The father is saying he's like, I'm starting to get a little teary-eyed over this, because we know, and we're going to get all those haters and hate channels saying, law enforcement didn't say this, law enforcement didn't say that. And I get so sick and tired of hearing that nonsense when we know. And it's so painful that us as strangers care more about this baby than his own parents. I think that is what is the one thing I never grasp at doing this at all, is the fact that we care in many parts more than their own family. And it's sad. We've got grandma out here giving these yahoos excuses. You know what? We're done with this freaking excuses. I don't care how old you are, okay? You don't get an opportunity to lie to save a monster's butt. You're no different than them. Grandmother or no grandmother. These people did something to their child. We knew it from interview number 1. I want that to sink in. Much like when we analyzed Chris and Katie's interview, the green shirt interview, we knew. We knew. This one has similar situations. We knew. We knew what was going on in Jaden's. We knew. We knew. Law enforcement didn't tell us, but we knew. So we'll keep following this case. I'll keep updating you beautiful people about what happened. I don't anticipate this ending well at all. How long are they going to hold on? How long is it going to be before we find Emmanuel? Think about that. Emmanuel on a Sunday. Sad. Sad. That's all that I can say, is just sad. Are we going to be dealing with them like we are dealing with Chris and Katie? I mean, at least law enforcement has not covered their 6 whatsoever. They've come out. They've been honest with the public. I wish Sumner County would get a clue. This is California, and they're doing better leadership than a town in Tennessee. Oh, I also found out, and thank you. Somebody sent me the psychology. We're going to be talking about the psychology behind this. Whoever that was, I can't remember the name. Thank you. Thank you for that. That was a very interesting article. So we're going to be talking about that in conjunction with this case. But I did find out, what did I find out? Sorry, I think it's from the pepper. My nose is starting to bother me. Where was I going? I do that. My mind skips a beat. I feel like it was something with the Sebastian Rogers case. And maybe it'll come back to me. I'm not sure. But either way, that's really all I have on this case right here. I know what I was going to say. I'm wondering whether they're going to get away with this, like, Chris and Katie. Are they going to be able to keep their mouth shut long enough and not tell them where this child is? Because let's face it, the only reason why Jaden Spicer was found was because his mother caved. His mother couldn't take it anymore. I pray to God that this mother caves. She needs to do what's right for her son. At least we can have some type of grace to give to her if she does. Right now, I'm looking at her as much of a monster as I'm looking at this still hole right here. And we know who the instigator is of all of this. I'm sorry. He's the one with the charges. He's the one with the charges, folks. He's the one that's been convicted of doing this already. He knows if this happens under his watch, he's done. And he's told her he's done. He's going to lose his life. And so what does she do? She decides to support the monster instead of this beautiful baby right here. And to me, that is no different than being the monster yourself. I pray to God we find this baby. But I'm telling you guys, it's not going to end good. So God bless you. Please keep praying for this family. I thank you. Who was it that gave me this super, I can't change it on here. I don't know how to. I'm so sorry. But I see somebody gave me a super sticker. Who was it? Did it say something? Let me go back down. There it is. It's from Gypsy. Oh, I did say thanks. And it says, crime is crime. When it comes to children, I have very little patience. That's it. That's it. You know, it's hard because we don't agree with violence, but there's still that inner beast in all of us that wishes, right? That wishes we could just smack the crap out of them just to make ourselves feel better. You know? That's how I feel some of the time. But we would never act on it, and that's the difference. But it still doesn't, it still comes across our mind because we are so emotional when it comes to our children, especially when we see these yahoos right here doing what they're doing. We would protect those children, and they have hurt them. That baby, let me just show you guys this again, because I think this is super important. This child has a scar on his eye. He was not born like this. I didn't realize that when I first started this story yesterday, but we had saw a video and it showed him a little bit younger. I have a scar not even that deep on my eye. You know what I got it from? I was in my 20s. I was drunk as crap, and I fell into the corner of a wall and busted my eye open. This is a 7-month-old child. A 7-month-old child. And I don't even have the deep laceration. You can still see the scar right there. And I don't have that deep laceration. And that was full weight of Bullhorn Betty on completely crap-faced. And I fell right in it. I remember it. It didn't hurt at the time. Next morning, different story. And this is a 7-month-old child wearing that. His eye is deformed. Don't tell me that was an accident. I truly believe that this child has been abused multiple times. Much like Leilani Simon's son, Quentin Simon. Abused from the time of birth up to his demise. I'm tired of covering these cases. And I'm tired of seeing pieces of garbage like this. If you believe a child is being abused in your neighborhood, in your community, don't sit on the sidelines. It literally could be a matter of life and death. You want to turn your cheek to the adults, the adult abuse? Fine. I'm not going to give you a hard time about what you do or don't do, except when it comes to children. Except when it comes to children. If you hear a child being abused, it is your responsibility. I don't care where you are or whose business you don't want to be in. If they're adults and you don't want to be in their business, fine. Again, not with the children. Not with the children. We're nosy and we're going to say something, all of us, because it could be literally a matter of life and death. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. I'm going to eat my lunch.